The member for Riverina. The call to the honourable member for Bennelong.
Thank you, Speaker. My question is to the Treasurer. What do this week's national accounts say about the importance of responsible economic management, and what approaches has the government rejected?
Give the call to the Treasurer.
Thanks, Mr Speaker, and thanks to the outstanding member for Bennelong for his question. The national accounts this week provided an important snapshot of our economy. Our economy is steady and sturdy in the face of some pretty intense pressure. It's holding up pretty well despite the rate rises which are already in the system and the slowdown in China. Now, we are optimistic about the future of our economy, the future of our country, but we are also realistic about pressures on Australians right now, the way that our economy is slowing and the difficult months that we anticipate ahead. Now, there is always a premium on responsible economic management, but especially in uncertain times like these. That's why we are working for Australia to roll out relief, getting wages moving again, getting the budget in better nick, investing in the future and cleaning up the mess that was left behind by those opposite. Now, we're seeing welcome progress in moderating inflation and in the national accounts, especially when it comes to wage and salary income over the last financial year, growing at the fastest rate in 3 decades. We see it in the fastest employment growth over the last financial year than at any time in any financial year since 1985, Mr Speaker. 500,000 jobs created on our watch, more people in work and earning more, the first surplus in 15 years, all of that putting us in good stead for the uncertainties ahead. Now, Mr Speaker, that's what responsible economic management looks like, and that's what's been missing for the wasted decade before we came to office. And speaking of the last decade, Mr Speaker, I heard the member for Bendigo, the member for Capricornia and others say that today is the 10th anniversary of the 2013 election. I congratulate my colleagues on their anniversary, even the member for Hume, as I understand it. Now, having been here for a decade now, even the member for Hume, I'm sure, it's not lost on him how strange and unusual and potentially unprecedented it was that in the week of an RBA board decision and the national accounts, he's yet to ask me a single question this week. Not about the economy, not about anything at all, not even a how's it going, Mr Speaker, not a single question from the member, the Shadow Treasurer opposite. And the lengths they went to yesterday to prevent him asking a question. They sat there and they had a choice. Should we let the member for Canning humiliate himself, or should we let the member for Hume humiliate himself?
The Treasurer will resume his seat. The Manager of Opposition Business on a point of order.
On relevance, Mr Speaker, even on the broadest interpretation of the words "what approaches has the government rejected," this continuation of the Treasurer's abuse and lack of respect for the Shadow Treasurer needs to stop. It's unparliamentary. He's a serial offender. Order. If he's got nothing useful to say, he should sit down.
The member for Hume has the MPI today. If the member for Hume interjects once more, we will not be having an MPI. That's your responsibility. Just going to ask the Treasurer to return to the question.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. You make a good point. The Shadow Treasurer does have the MPI today, and it's a reminder. It gives the press conferences before question time and the speeches after question time, but never in prime time. Never does he ask me a question in prime time when the nation is watching. And that's because the responsible economic management that we are providing is unrecognisable to those opposite, because they spent the best part of a decade making a mess of our economy and a mess of our budget, and I spend a great deal of my time cleaning it up.